video, I'm going to give you a rundown and a review on the Lykke needles, and it is actually pronounced Lykke, and I brought my book by Mike Viking. This is the same guy who wrote the book, The Little Book of Hygge, and this is the Little Book of Lykke, and right under the word it says pronounced Lykke, and so that's how we're supposed to pronounce it. I think everyone in the world, not everyone in the world, everyone in America is pronouncing it Lykke. That's what it looks like to us, but just for reference, Mike Viking, who's also my Facebook friend who I have a crush on, who wrote these books, he says Lykke, and it's a Danish and Norwegian word meaning happiness. So I'll go ahead and call them Lykke for everyone in North America. These needles are really nice. This is the Lykke driftwood set, and when you first get them, you open them up and you realize this is a great substantial case. It is vegan leather, kind of a suede vegan leather. It feels really good, and inside you have what are really very gorgeous needles. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at these. Okay, we are inside the case now. We're getting a look at the needles. These are the driftwoods in this gray finish. They are highly laminated birch with a shorter taper and a blunter tip. Now, we're kind of in a world where everyone's just excited about the sharper the needle, the better. I just finished knitting a sweater on these, and it was mostly stockinette, and I loved them. Every time I looked down at them, I thought, God, these are such pretty needles, and they were so easy to use because the blunter tip and just the stockinette that I was doing, it wasn't splitting the yarn, and it was yarn that was kind of prone to be splitty. I really loved using these. And in your kit, this is how many? This is 12 needle sizes from US 4 up to US 17, or 3.5 millimeters up to 12 millimeters. And these are huge. These are almost like a piece of driftwood on the beach, aren't they? And in your sturdy little pocket, everything really is substantial and sturdy. You have just the standard cords to make 24, 32, and 40-inch circulars. And these are standard plastic cords, and you get some end stoppers and stuff. It's kind of just the same, the stuff that you would expect for a circular needle set. And these plastic cords, from my sets of needles, I'm not sure this is the same for everybody with all sets of needles. These are the exact same threads as like my Knitter's Pride needles and my Knit Picks needles. They're interchangeable with these cords. And these are just your standard plastic cords that kind of eventually wear out at some point, but they're easy enough to replace. Now, one thing I wanted to do was do a quick comparison here on these needles with another favorite of mine, my Knitter's Pride Dreams. And you can see the Lykke needles are much blunter with a much shorter taper. The taper on the Dreams goes all the way down to there, and the taper on the Lykkes are just to here. Quite a difference when you're knitting with them, but both are really highly laminated wood. And everything, of course, goes back nicely and neatly. Magnetic snap case. Okay, just one more thing to say about these because it is an honest review. All my reviews are honest, but I just have to say the bad thing about these. You're gonna get these needles in the mail, or you're gonna bring them home from your local yarn shop, and you're gonna take them out of the plastic, you're excited to use them, and the case, the vegan leather case, has a smell like the factory, like chemicals, I don't know what, but just because of what it is. I guess, the fake leather has a smell to it. It was so bad. I was excited to use my needles, but it was so bad. I had to put the needles in the garage for a few days. And every time I opened the garage door to do a load of laundry or something, I was just hit in the face with the smell of these needles. Now, maybe I'm especially sensitive to smells, or maybe they've changed something since, I bought mine a few months ago. But that was like the big downside. Now, I left it out there for a few days, maybe a week, and now there is no smell. There's no smell anymore, and these needles get to live inside my house. I don't make them live in the garage anymore. Anyway, that's the big downside. Other than that, they are beautiful needles. Like I said, most Americans are pronouncing it Lykke needles, but Mike Viking calls it Lykke. I think the rest of Denmark does as well. Anyway, that's my review, my overview of these needles. Good luck.